Folks, welcome back. Rudy, Alpha Investments. Sit back, relax. Today, it's been a little while. We've got three small collection transactions. Literally, one from January, one from February, one from March. And they're little ones, so I consolidated into this video. First, a single card transaction. I usually don't engage in a lot of those. Another transaction over here from another nice young man. We got a small little batch of vintage cards. And third and final transaction, this one's a little bit older, I apologize, this one's January. We have an Alpha WTR Flesh and Blood Cold Foil Legendaries from the WTR era. I don't know if you guys can see them, sorry, I'm not going to take them out of the sleeves. I know cold foils, the conditions and everything, and these things are getting a little ridiculous. Okay, so we got three collections I really want to go over here. First, to go into this video, sit back, relax. And remember, folks, if you have anything old to sell, original cold foils, ABU, Four Horsemen, Magic, or anything, AlphainvestmentsLLC at gmail.com. The old PP for pictures and prices. And no giggities. And if you're getting fake comments below, it's a scam. If you're trying to communicate with me on social media, it's a scam. People are trying to hose you. I do not use anything else. You literally private patron message or AlphainvestmentsLLC at gmail.com. So, the state of the market. Old Magic, it's still not going up. It's still not doing anything exciting. So you'll notice, again, one of the ways you can always kind of tell a weaker market is like when we make videos on these topics, you'll see lower amounts of interactions in the comment section, lower amounts of people excited, lower views across all vintage and old Magic the Gathering channels talking about collecting and investing. You'll see a lower amount of interest and engagement across the board. And I still continue to see that in, most CCG categories compared to the peak from 18 months ago before we got, roiled through 18 months of a bear market. I'm still accumulating positions. No sealed product to discuss in today's video, just some old single cards here. But overall, it's interesting because these particular Flesh and Blood, the original set, the first printing cold foils, this is probably going to be the last video you see on me buying anything like this, because the amount of contacts and the amount of these type of cards changing hands is declining so rapidly. And again, this is being filmed at the end of March 2023. So by the time you watch this, it'll probably be the last few days of March or beginning of April in 2023. So it's being filmed about 4 days before the end of the month. So this particular situation, I wouldn't expect me to have more videos and discussions on these. I don't expect to be able to engage in many more transactions for these original Alpha, WTR, Welcome to Wraith, cold foil cards, especially either legendary or fabled rarities. I just don't see the amount of contacts, the amount on the open market is just so low. It reminds me almost of Alpha Magic cards. I mean, yes, you can go to, private, Facebook, MySpace, Silk Road websites, but overall, the amount on the market is just getting so low. It's just, this is probably the first time we're going to be talking about these in a while. It's probably going to be the last time in a while. Now, this is an interesting one. Let's talk about this one real quick. I usually don't engage in one-card transactions because it's not worth the time and paying the shipping in for one card and, for a $100-200 transaction type thing. A couple $100 transaction for a single card, even if it's, not mint, even if it's nice, not gem mint or anything, but this is a nice little light played card and everything. And overall, it's not going to grade a PSA, 10 or Beckett quad plus 2 minus divided by 6. I don't really care about the gradability as much anymore. I'm more into just collecting the raw cards. And but the fact that like Invoke the P and Legends and Jihad and Arabian Nights, a certain banned and culturally unacceptable cards since 2020, I do still get a good amount of contacts because a lot of stores won't touch them. Sometimes they get pulled down from eBay or TCG Player. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. It's a very wishy-washy thing depending on who's, policing the internet at the time, So I still get a lot of contacts for these type of cards. And that's the only reason why I saw as one of the banned, sensitive, dangerous cards. So this was the reason why that I actually did engage with a one-card transaction here. And again, so we're looking at a rare or a U2, as they say on the print run sheet, uncommon sheet, appeared 2 times. Jihad from Arabian Nights here. Very iconic, very beautiful card on here. Absolutely stunning artwork on there. You don't see old art like that, man. It's pretty wild stuff from Brian. Overall, though, Arabian Nights, Rudy still has a passion. I know they're nowhere near their highs. People argue Arabian Nights are still probably 20, 30, 40%. Some people even say 50+%, depending on certain cards, especially if you're doing graded Beckett pristine 10s. Some people are saying that Arabian Nights is off its high by 50%. If you go by those high-end premium super quad triple plus divided by speedboat times jet ski kind of condition guides. Overall, in my opinion, Arabian Nights still remains 20 to about 30% off the all-time high. And I'll just be honest with you, I don't see any easy money or any quick opportunity in placing money into Four Horsemen sets right now. The people who are left doing this, like me and other crazy people out there, are doing it because they love the product. They're not buying these type of things anymore, or at least in 2023, because they see opportunity to make quick money. It's just not happening. Okay, so other thing we're going to go into here is we got some interesting conversations in this little transaction, just little 9 cards over here. Then the third transaction over here, I'll move the camera over just a tad bit for you guys, make it a little higher so you can see. So this third transaction over here was a nice little smaller transaction. Conditions were very rough, but still very authentic, beautiful cards from a very nice guy. I think this was if I recall correctly, this was the transaction that the gentleman actually, I purchased some of his cards from him actually, I think 4 or 5 years ago. He had a few leftovers, and I think he was raising money for some, actually important thing in life, not just a magic card thing. Anyways, so these are the 3 things. And the reason I kind of have this nice diverse lot here is because we're going to discuss the overall state of the market right now as Rudy looks at these cards and rambles as kind of a podcast. Not much visual going on in the video today. And we remain in a volatile world, very volatile economy, and a lot of negativity. We had some regional bank collapses in the United States, really shook people up, and everyone's running around with their tinfoil hats and dumpsters saying, this is the next 2008, which I don't think that's the case. And, there's a lot of turmoil and negativity has continued to just, slosh the markets. And of course, Rudy's the only moron that everyone says, oh my God, this guy on Rudy on YouTube is like telling people that things are good and he's still buying cardboard. And we're about to hit 2008 and the greatest crashes. I've been hearing that for years. And, I just remain in the mindset that the world is not ending and that 2023 Ford is going to be a lot better for CCGs. I can't predict short-term swings in the market, especially the stock market, equity, or debt markets, or interest rates, and nor do I try to. All I know is I accumulate my shares on Wall Street and, different things I like, and the same thing with collectibles, and I just kind of play the long game, and I wait it out, and I buy things that I'm comfortable holding. So, in today's video, you'll notice the basic thing here. The single cards that Rudy's buying are still original cold foils from Flesh and Blood. We still have Four Horsemen Magic. And of course, we even have one, they got old Tabby down here, non-English, which is very rare. Usually I don't really buy a lot of non-English cards, but Italian Legends is probably the only exception. It's a very unique animal, And again, you can see some kind of, Exodus, Stronghold, Weatherlight, Urza's kind of block there past the Four Horsemen, even Mirage over there. So, I'm buying these because I enjoy them, and I still believe the long game is worth it. I believe that these products are still in a situation where the downside risk, or let me just say the trending sideways, doesn't go up or down, just does nothing for years, is still worth it compared to me missing out or having the regret of not buying or not having large positions. So to me, the risk of not having exposure to the upside remains greater than the downside risk of the market being flat for 2, 3, 4 years, or even losing another 10, 20, 30%. That is still how I view the market. Now, as of the filming of this video, Flesh and Blood has already been it's starting to move very, very quickly again, which is, we've been, by the time you watch this video, there should be some other videos out, depending on the order in which they went live and everything. But Flesh and Blood, obviously you can watch other videos I have sometime either before or after this video. The sealed product, we've talked about the cold foils across the board. Everything has just been moving very quickly. Most Flesh and Blood original cold foils are up 50 to 100% off their lows. No, they're nowhere near their all-time highs, but they are recovering very, very rapidly across the board, especially the WTRR crew and even the Monarch, way off its lows, nowhere near its highs, and even the newer sets with the Fab 2.0 Uprising, Dynasty, and of course Outsiders, the new ones. The secondary market is very, very healthy with tremendous amount of single card changing hands, which is a very good, healthy sign for the player base and the growth of the game worldwide. Now, as far as these vintage, collectible, investable long-term Magic cards. That's how I view them. Again, I don't see a lot of opportunity to make money for people right now. If you have capital or anything, you're looking to buy into old Magic, I do not think you're going to get rich. I think you're going to be very disappointed because I don't think there's going to be really much easy money or flipping. I just don't think there's opportunity to flip or move cards and kind of, oh, Rudy, if you buy this Mox Diamond here, and if you paid, I don't know, let's just say, $6.99. Let's make up a 69 number, and you flipped it to somebody else for, $7.49. After shipping and fees, maybe you make I don't think the market conditions are stable and healthy enough in a post Magic 30 current Hasbro management area to promote and let you play around with flipping old cards in the world of Magic. Magic is fine. A lot, actually, this is the next thing in the video. The more exciting upticks that are happening in the world of Magic are actually on new products. A lot of the recovery and upticks happening are actually, like I said, the brand new Phyrexia standard set. The collector boxes are very appealing. Dominaria Remastered, Brothers War, I'm speaking of collector boxes. The draft and set are still in print, and for the standard sets like Brothers War and Phyrexia, they're going to be in print for a while. So those products have 0% chance of appreciating or becoming very desirable or rare until they go out of print. But the collector boxes did not collapse, and they have sold through and flushed through the Hasbro, Wizards, Amazon, all this system. So which means there's not a huge bottleneck of Brothers War, Dominaria Remastered collectors, Phyrexia collectors. The fact that distribution cannot just request open order of these from the Texas warehouse in the US tells me that they did flow through, the market did absorb them, distributors did buy what they could because there were stores requesting the demand. That tells me there is not a backlog that will need to be backdoor giggity dumped onto Amazon for fire sales and Amazon dumps. The fact that I know that we're not going to see, new Phyrexia collector boxes fire sold on Amazon for $80, I don't think it's possible. No, of course, by the time this video goes live the next day, then Wizards does that and makes a fool out of me. Well, then I'm just going to look like an idiot, and, Rudy was wrong. But that's my perspective. And being someone on the internet who kind of tells you all how I feel and think about these things, yes, I'm going to get things wrong, but that's how I feel right now. And we'll see if that holds true. And if I'm right or wrong in the future, we'll find out. So let's look at these old cards here. Okay. So we have a played lot here. Okay. Not a ton of money here. We even look at this workshop. This is definitely a very well loved, heavy played, almost to the damage. I mean, look at the back of this thing. Actually, I would actually consider this damage. You actually have crease marks and damage, binder ding, actually a cut mark on the card. This is straight up damage at that point. We got a candelabra over here. And this thing, we look at it like that and a sleeve. This is a beautiful card. Beautiful eye appeal, beautiful good centering, definitely well loved and played corner and everything, but it's a good card, right? Well, if you're not really paying attention, the bottom of this card is inked. So do we have Rudy's tool? Where is Rudy's tool? Whatever happened to Rudy's tool? So the bottom of this card, I don't know if you guys can see it right there, we have black Sharpie across the bottom that was touched up. So this was priced at a very low damage price. Now, most people who just want to play it, put it in a sleeve, aren't going to care about that, but it can never be graded. It's a damaged card. It's been modified. It is what it is. And then, I think this one of these other ones had damaged ones too. That one's pretty good. I saw one of these when I was auditing with this guy. Was it the metal worker? I think another one was actually damaged. Yeah, I think it's metal worker. Yeah, I think this is the one. We got a crease. We actually have a crease bent mark on this one. I think it's this one. Yeah, that right there. I don't know what the deal is, but we have an actual crease on the card on the left side there. It looks like something kind of clipped it. You can see the crease lines going diagonal there. But again, these I buy them because I enjoy them and I believe in them long term. And I'm comfortable parking money into this kind of stuff. It's the same reason, on the rare situations, I can actually get WTR Alpha, kind of cold foil legendaries kind of thing. These, I know this is going to sound really stupid. I almost feel like these type of cards here are more rare and more difficult for me to acquire or get a buy list or a good deal on than the Magic cards. Because the people who have these at this point, Mask of Momentum, such a beautiful piece of art on this thing. The people who have these things, it's just stunning. And there's just such a small amount on the market at this point. And now that we're on an uptick, and I still believe, I know Flesh and Blood's on an uptick, but I still believe The actual old school Magic, the ABU Four Horsemen products, are when not if, but when they have the next leg up, that will kind of be, as Rudy keeps rambling about, the final leg up. I think the next leg up in vintage Magic the Gathering collectibles, sealed and singles, is going to be kind of that, I don't want to say like game ending or end game kind of thing, but it's going to put, because usually when there's a big leg up in a bull market, I mean, let's kind of lay this out there. So when there's a huge move in vintage Magic, okay, like you'll see things like, back in 2017, you'll see, a Mishra's Workshop, which is $700-800, go to $2,000-3,000. So usually it'll double to triple on a big leg up on a buyout. So many times, a Tabernacle, which used to be, $500, and Italian used to be a couple hundred, and that was a big deal back then. But when you have these mega legs up, they overshoot up, they retrace a little bit every time as they find their natural equilibrium. But if if an Arabian Nights set, used to be peak at 20,000, 30,000 for a set at the all-time high. And now an Arabian Nights set, let's say it's around 10,000, maybe even 6, 7, 8,000 for Arabian Nights set if it's damaged and played and inked and all this crap. And Gem Minty is still 10, 15,000 range, let's say, for a 90 card Arabian or 92 card Arabian, for an Arabian Nights set, okay? The next leg up, if it doubles or triples and sends an Arabian Nights set to $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a set, even if it retraces back down to 30 or 40, you're now getting to the point where bazaars and libraries and Dijins, Diamond Valleys and Drops of Honeys, these things are going to be $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 in like some of the key cards like bazaars and libraries and Dijins. These things could be $5,000, $10,000 a card. It is not out of the realm of possibility because they are so iconic. And unlike Magic 30, and the disaster that happened. And yeah, I know, actually, I got to do a follow-up video on that. Magic 30, the sealed boxes of still, that group of investors, and they are dumping their money, and they are buying those things. You got to give them credit. They probably bought a couple hundred out of the 10,000. So, it's still holding up. It didn't crash to $500. It dropped to like 900 to 1,000 and it's low. And it's back to 1,200, 1,300 range. So it's holding up. So, but I look at that, and then I look at this, and I'm like, why would I want that? That's the old thing I always go back to. Even if Magic 30 had tanked to $500 a box, even if it stays at 1,000, even if it stays at 1,500 for the next year or two, why would I want to dump tens of thousands into that when I can buy tens of thousands of this? And that is always the same thing I go back to that makes me just say, there's no way. I can never stomach that. So that's where I see the market. That's where I see what's going. And I do think vintage Magic will turn. I think it could be a lot longer than people realize. I have still yet to see any, how do I say it? I've still yet to see any really good evidence that ABU Four Horsemen sets, revised dual lands, even 2000s era sealed boxes, even Weatherlights and Exodus and Alliances, all those sealed boxes are still declining. There's no set price. As they come to market, they get very little activity. People just don't want to input the money into it, especially in an era where cash is paying a bunch of interest, and there's a lot of choices out there to do with your money between stocks and interest rates and just getting CDs or bonds. There's a lot of interest. There's a lot of choices you can do. And I just, as of this position, in this perspective, I still don't see any major bull market in old Magic. And you're talking to probably one of the heaviest old school Magic bag holders in the world. And I have millions in it. And I still don't see any major price appreciation happening, or major leg up, or parabolic move, or to the moons and 2021 style. I just don't see it happening. And you know what? I hope I'm wrong. I hope it surprises me. I wake up tomorrow and people are blowing up my emails saying, Rudy, did you see inked candelabras are 10 grand a card? Hey, cool. That's cool. But I don't see it happening. And I think the overall market agrees with that. And I believe that's why the overall market and the average person is not putting money into it and is kind of standing aside, waiting for some evidence or return, because people, look, I know I'm rambling, but at the end of the day, no matter what people say about this stuff, the allure of making money is very powerful. It's human, it's genetic, it's the greed and capitalism of wanting to make money, extract money, engage in some sort of arbitrage and pull profit out is just human. Okay. And in good markets, a blind squirrel can have one nut and he can throw it against the wall and he can look like a hero and a financial king and a financial advisor because everything's going up. In 2021, I remember when everything was going to the moon. This is a good tip. I relate in the video. There's probably 3 people watching. My mom, my ex, and the guy downstairs in the basement. At this point in time, think about it. In 2021, I still got a lot of hate because people were laughing that I was making videos about all these price increases. And everyone's going, oh, look at Rudy pumping the heavy bags and pumping all these collectibles. Rudy, just put it in the stock market. See, the S&P is going to be up 50% for the year, and the NASDAQ's up 40%, and everyone's just this, and this guy's telling you to buy cardboard. Because that was a time period where everything was going up. And if everything's going up, the path of least resistance is, well, just put the money in the stock market, and you're going to be up 10, 20, 30, 40%. Or you're going to 10x your money in crypto or some sort of meme stock, right? That shifted and tilted how people behaved with money and how they viewed inputting money and buying and selling and flipping and all that stuff. Suddenly, the idea of 10xing your money in a crypto weird altcoin, weird little micro coin thing, not some Bitcoin, some weird thing, these thousands of weird coins that were popping up everywhere and, making 100 times your return. Why on earth would you listen to some guy on YouTube talk about buying gold magic cards that are up 20%? Why, or 10%? Wait, Rudy says his target is 5 to 8% a year? Why would I do that when I can 10x my money? So it starts to distort what your expectations are. And now we're back in a normal life. And, as we went through this 18-month bear market, hangovers are always painful. Losses, price erosion, it's painful. Every time you buy something, the next month, you're down 5, 10%, and you feel kind of that nauseous, oh God, why did I do that? Well, I'm going to buy again so I can lose more money? And you have that kind of talk with yourself. So now that we're kind of getting out of that COVID 2020 crazy, stay at home, government hands out helicopters, free money to everybody, and distortion and all this stuff. And the 2021, everything, the inflation flared up, and because all this money was sloshing. 2022, everything came crashing down. People started realizing, holy crap, money machines turned off, everything's crashing. I can't just flip and make billions in crypto, and I got to go back and get a real job. I actually got to go back to hustle, and hard mode is back on. I can't just pull the red rope in the middle of the room and a bunch of underwear falls down and I just get free money. Nope, hard mode is back to normal. You got to work, things are difficult, and we're back to normal. And of course, coming through what we all went through, we all have that price memory, it feels crappy. It doesn't feel fun. I like the old way better. I would just yell about, did you guys see this price? Did you guys see the flesh and blood? Did you see the Metazu? Did you see the Weiss? Did you see the Pokemon? Did you see this Magic set? Did you see the Vintage? Of course, I love making videos and everything goes up and everyone's exciting. But that era is over with. And a lot of people left. Many people will not come back from that era. The people who are left now, I firmly believe, patrons watching this, you all out there just comment or thumbs down or run away, and Rudy's pumping and dumping on Metazu's ex and stepsister, blah, blah, blah. I just think the people left now are people who really just like CCGs. And don't get me started on all the failed Kickstarters and all the money that disappeared and all this weird stuff that happened. Holy crap. There was like 100 Kickstarters for CCGs and like 95 of them disappeared with money. Jeez Louise, man. So that's my mindset. And if you have a good level head on your shoulders and you're going into this stuff correctly, I still think it's a beautiful playground. It's a beautiful world of cardboard. It's a ton of fun. It's like an iceberg. It's very shallow on the surface, but it's very complicated and very deep and very interesting underneath. And that's the difference between, having that bad short-term, miss right now relationship and getting a miss right. That is the perspective of things. And we all get, we all screw up and get those blinders on sometimes. And now I still enjoy going after rare flesh and blood cards, rare magic cards. And if somebody would sell me some serialized Metazu cards, at like a discount, which I haven't been able to pull much off of, that would be great too. That's where we're at, folks. That is my speech on it. I remain positive and optimistic. You will not see 30, 40, 50, 60, 70,000 views on a video like this. I predict you're probably going to see very low views on this type of discussion in positive outlook in real talk. This will probably be like a 10, 20,000 view video because it's just not sexy. This kind of conversation in this moment in the market cycle, this moment of the market is not sexy and attractive. Therefore, it's not going to get people wound up to find out what happens next. This is the time period that makes people bored and not really excited, which makes them move on and look for other things that create that, dopamine excitement, that dopamine hit. They want that endorphin hit. And this sure as hell ain't going to do it. So that's all I have today, folks. I hope you learned something. That's what I see going on. So summarize the video, since there's probably 0 people watching. I don't even know. Flesh and Blood's on an uptick. New Magic's recovering. Pokemon across the board, sealed products going crazy. We're a couple weeks out from some new Weiss sets. We got the epic new MetaZoo Native Era coming. And, oh man, the market's going to be... I can't wait to make those videos. People have no idea how low the print run is and how much and what's coming with this new era of MetaZoo. It's going to be hilarious. No one's watching this late, but man, I can't wait. I can give you guys a hint right now. Look at the sealed prices of like new Weiss sets. Look how many's for sale. It's low, isn't it? Suspiciously low. We got a new MetaZoo set, probably less than 30 days out. Pre-orders are up for everything. Go on TCG Player. Look at the price. And look what they're pre-selling for. $120 to $140 a box. Almost none available. People are getting them or getting very little amounts. My patron bundles are less. I'm not getting 2,500 patron bundles. I'm not even getting 2,000 patron bundles. I'm not even getting 1,500 patron bundles anymore. The adjustments and things going in the tighter direction for many of these products is going to recreate value and stabilize the supply and demand and keep things in alignment. And these are all reasons why I feel, positive moving forward with all these products. Even Magic's doing it. I'm telling you all right now, the collector box, we talked about at the beginning of this video, the Brothers War collectors, the Dominaria Remastered collectors, not Dominaria United. Those are still kind of overprinted because of the whole Lost Legends, and those are still very weak. But they've come back off their lows. But specifically, Brothers War collectors, Dominaria Remastered collectors, Phyrexia collectors, and March of the Machine collectors, which is not out yet. These things, I'm telling you, you got to keep an eye on them. There's no major second waves. They flushed them out. There's no backlogs. I don't expect any major Amazon dumps. I'm telling you all right now, especially that Brothers War with those serialized, unbelievably beautiful artifacts. I've had more people, more patrons, more conversations saying those serialized retro sketch artifacts from Brothers War are the most beautiful artifacts in Magic since Kaladesh Inventions. And I've been getting a lot of chatter, a lot of conversation about it. You can't get any more Brothers War. Sold out at WotC, sold out at distribution level. I'm telling you right now, the opportunity is still here, and everyone's given up. And I'm the only moron still talking about it with very few people, like less than 50, 60% of the views than a year ago. Hope you learned something today, everybody. Beautiful world out there. Do not fall into the negative news cycle trap. Do not get sucked into YouTube, watching all these attack videos against other people and other creators and bad things happening, all this drama news cycle. It's not good for you. It's toxic. It's not healthy for you. It doesn't add anything positive to your life. I'm telling you all, focus on learning things, get involved with things you enjoy, have people around you that are more successful or better than you, than smarter than you. Have people and friends around you that do very well, so it surrounds yourself with things to really pull with and pull you upwards and be positive with. Do not surround yourself in that negative news cycle. It is extraordinarily toxic long term. Go outside, dig a hole, be a carrot, yell at the cars, and I'm telling you, lick the ground, look at the sky. It's flippin' gorgeous. The world is going to work out, things are going to be positive, and the amount of negativity out there is just, it's almost embarrassing. Because people just don't look in the right direction. They seek out bad things. They seek out drama. I can make a Magic 30 drama video about Hasbro Magic 30. Watch. You'll see. The one person watching this, you'll see 50, 100,000 views. 100,000 plus views. The real talk, important information like this, 10, 15%. This video will get 10, 20,000 views, not 100,000 plus. Because people don't like positivity. Have a beautiful day, everybody. Seriously.